Since the Red Sox lost one of their greatest leadoff hitters ever in Mookie Betts, there have been an endless cycle of Red Sox leadoff hitters. Could 2023 be any different? What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Red Seat Radio. My name is Corbin, and the topic of who's going to be the leadoff hitter for this 2023 Red Sox team has been one that's been constantly talked about basically the entirety of the offseason. It's been one of the biggest topics surrounding this Red Sox team. In fact, basically everyone in this lineup has been mentioned at least once in terms of guys who can lead off for the 2023 Boston Red Sox. The latest addition to that list of people who could possibly be a leadoff hitter is Triston Casas. So what we are going to do in today's video is we're going to break down all the potential candidates. We're going to talk about their positives, their negatives, and see if there is one clear answer to who should be leading off for this Red Sox team, or if it's a little bit more complicated than that, if it's even possible to have a singular leadoff hitter for the 2023 Boston Red Sox. But before we get into that, do me a favor, make sure you guys have hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you're new here, we talk Red Sox content almost every single day. Also, make sure you guys have hit the like button on this video as well. Helps these videos out a ton, and it would mean a lot to me. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one. Let's get into it. Okay, so let's break down all of these candidates and see if we can find a clear leadoff hitter. Starting with the guy who had been the clear answer for a little bit, at least since the Red Sox signed him, and that was Masataka Yoshida, because Yoshida can get on base at an elite level. Last year in 2022 in the NPB League, Masataka Yoshida had a .449 on base percentage with a 1.007 OPS. He's a guy who can get on base and, like I said, do it at an elite level. He's also a guy who does not strike out. Obviously, he does strike out, but it's very low compared to how much he walks, because last year, again, in the NPB, Masataka Yoshida had just 42 strikeouts and 82 total walks throughout the entirety of 2022. Those are really impressive numbers, and the way he approaches at-bats profiles out to be a really perfect leadoff hitter. It's something that was immediately mentioned in Masataka Yoshida's press conference when he was announced as a member of the Boston Red Sox. Chaim Bloom said the words himself. Now, it was something that Masataka Yoshida mentioned he wasn't super comfortable with because he'd never done it in his entire career, but again, he looked like the perfect fit. The problem with Masataka Yoshida as a leadoff hitter happened when he came to spring training, and the reason it became a problem is because the Red Sox realized, hey, there's a lot of untapped, underrated power potential in Masataka Yoshida's swing, and it seems like he may be better fitted for a position where he can get a lot of RBIs and drive guys in. Right now, the Red Sox are saying that Masataka Yoshida is probably going to hit in the 4 spot for the Red Sox going into the 2023 season, which means we probably won't see a lot of Masataka Yoshida in the leadoff role throughout the entire year. Now, obviously, things can change, and Alex Cora is really good about being pretty fluid with this lineup, but for right now, it does not look like Masataka Yoshida is going to be the full-time answer to our leadoff role problem for the 2023 season. So, who else could be a candidate for that role? Triston Arroyo could be a candidate for that role. Last year, Triston Arroyo had a .322 on base percentage with a .736 OPS and a .103 OPS plus in 87 games. Not exactly the elite level that Masataka Yoshida was getting on base at, but they're still pretty solid numbers. The other thing to note in Triston Arroyo is that we have not seen what he looks like in a full-time starting role, especially at the plate, right? We know his defense is going to be good, but what does Triston Arroyo look like at the plate over a full-time position season? We don't know what that looks like yet. On top of that, too, we have no idea what Triston Arroyo looks like as a full-time leadoff hitter. In fact, over his career, Triston Arroyo has only played 15 games in that leadoff role, and in those 15 games, he again has a .322 on base percentage, but a .686 OPS. So in my opinion, Triston Arroyo could be a candidate for a leadoff position. The problem is we just don't know what he's going to look like in that leadoff role until he's actually in that leadoff role, right? Until we get a larger sample size of what Triston Arroyo could look like as a leadoff hitter. So in my opinion, I think he could be a candidate for a leadoff role, but I don't know if it's going to be right away. In my opinion, Triston Arroyo makes a lot of sense towards the bottom of the lineup to really lengthen this lineup out, especially as we get towards the 7, 8, 9 type hitters. So I don't think that Triston Arroyo will be leading off to start the year, but he could definitely be a candidate, especially against lefties where he hits a lot better. Triston Arroyo could definitely be a candidate, candidate, but there are definitely others that may be a little bit better suited for that role, and one of them is Kiké Hernandez. Now, we all know Kiké Hernandez has actually been in a leadoff role for this Red Sox team before. For most of the 2021 season, where the Red Sox had that sort of miracle run in the playoffs, Kiké Hernandez was the guy who was leading off for this Red Sox team, because in 2021 he played 118 games in that leadoff role, and in those 118 games Kiké had a 342 on base percentage with a 799 OPS. In 529 plate appearances, Kiké Hernandez walked 56 times, but also struck out 93 times. On top of that too, Kiké Hernandez over this last offseason has really emerged as the vocal leader of this Red Sox team. He's a guy who's been very vocal towards the media, towards the team on social media, about how he views this Red Sox team and how he is taking charge of this Red Sox clubhouse. That might be a good thing to have in your leadoff role, right? A team leader, a guy who's extremely confident in his ability and the team's ability. Being in that leadoff role to start off games might not be a bad thing at all. My biggest concern with Kiké Hernandez is just simply consistency, right? We've seen what peak Kiké Hernandez looks like, but over the course of an entire season, he tends to start the year off fairly slowly. He tends to get going right around May, June, in that area, and April's usually a bit of a tough month for him. Do we really want to start the year off with someone who's normally cold at the plate as our leadoff hitter and just take the chance that he heats up and is good to go for a leadoff role for the rest of the year? I don't know. It's definitely something to keep an eye on, but in my opinion, Kiké Hernandez is a very decent candidate to be the leadoff hitter for this 2023 Red Sox team. And finally, we have the newest addition to the Red Sox leadoff hitter mix, Triston Casas. Last year, Triston Casas at the major league level had a pretty low average in the 100s, but his on-base percentage was still really impressive. He finished the year with a 358 on-base percentage and a 766 OPS, and those numbers could get a whole lot better because in spring training so far this year, Triston Casas has a really impressive 432 on base percentage and a 1.079 OPS, and he doesn't strike out a ton. On top of that too, he also is a really productive at bat. He's a guy who regularly sees upwards of 5, 6, 7, 8 pitches a single at bat, and that could be absolutely fantastic in the leadoff role, right? A guy who can get on base, a guy who can make the pitcher throw a ton of pitches so that the rest of the lineup can see kind of what this pitcher's stuff looks like. It's a guy who kind of profiles perfectly as a leadoff hitter. He also has a lot of power potential and RBI potential as well. He's not the fastest guy in the world, but sometimes good leadoff hitters don't have to be speedsters, right? If you are getting on base at an insane clip and you've got guys like Masataka, Devers, Turner, Duvall behind you, there's a pretty good chance you're getting knocked in. The problem I have with Triston Casas being the leadoff hitter for this Red Sox team, and obviously the most obvious problem with this, is that he has not played a full season in Major League Baseball yet. Going into 2023, he's still considered a rookie in terms of playing time at the Major League level. Now, this is a lot of pressure to put on a guy who is simply a rookie in Major League Baseball, but Triston Casas is built different, and what I mean by that is Triston Casas is a guy who really does not care about anything but playing baseball. He doesn't care what the media is saying about him. He doesn't care what teammates are saying about him, right? He's going to be himself, and he's going to have the same approach regardless of where he hits in the lineup, regardless of what spotlight he is under, and to me, those are really big qualities to have as a rookie in Major League Baseball, and B, a leadoff hitter for the Boston Red Sox. So in my opinion, Triston Casas again is a very good candidate to be a leadoff hitter for this Red Sox team going into 2023. The other problem I have with Triston Casas being a leadoff hitter would be that Rafael Devers is going to be in the 2 spot, meaning that it would be left right off the bat almost every single game. So we've gone through most of the candidates. There are a couple of outside candidates as well. Maybe Alex Verdugo sneaks in if he's having a really good season in terms of on-base percentage, but he's a guy who rarely walks, and that could be a problem in terms of a leadoff role. Rob Refsnyder could be a guy that when he's playing, especially against a lefty, he could be a guy that could lead off for this Red Sox team. In fact, Alex Cora even mentioned him as a guy who could be a leadoff hitter for this Red Sox team when there are lefties on the mound or when he's in the game. So there are 2 outside candidates as well. So there are ton of different options, like I said, for the leadoff hitter role in 2023. And clearly it's a bit more complicated than just, yes, this one guy is our leadoff hitter. So at the end of the day, who is the Red Sox leadoff hitter? In my opinion, I don't think there will be a clear hitter for the 2023 Red Sox. And I think that'll be by design. Like we mentioned, Cora really preaches versatility of a lineup and flexibility within that lineup. Guys who can move around everywhere and still be productive. You can use the analytical side of baseball as well as the gut side of baseball and kind of marry the two together to bring together this sort of versatile, flexible lineup. And that includes that leadoff role. There are obviously going to be guys in this lineup who are sort of stationary. My guess would probably be that 2-3-4 with Devers, Turner, and Yoshida, but again, it's all subject to change. And one thing that Alex Cora really likes to do is when guys are struggling, maybe at the top of the lineup, he likes to drop them lower in the lineup, take a little pressure off of them, make sure that they are good to go and can get back to the spot that they really want to be at before he puts them back into the middle or top of this lineup. So in my opinion, I don't know if the Red Sox and Alex Cora want a set leadoff hitter, but I think most of the leadoff ABs are going to come down to either Kiké Hernandez or Triston Casas. If there is a favorable righty on the mound and you're okay with going left, left, right, left to start the game off, then Triston Casas is going to get that leadoff role. If there's a slop throwing lefty on the mound, Kiké Hernandez, his confidence and his ability to hit lefties is going to get that job. I think it's going to come down to one of those two guys sort of flip-flopping, at least to begin the season, and see kind of who breaks out, who starts slumping, who's slow to get going, who's starting the year red hot, right? But at the end of the day, I don't think there's going to be a set leadoff hitter for this Red Sox team. I think it's honestly a bit of a complicated answer as to who could be the leadoff hitter for this Red Sox team. So let me know in the comment section down below, who would you lead off for this 2023 Red Sox team? Would you go with one set guy? Would you be a little bit more flexible? Are there a couple of candidates that you would go with? Is there anyone not mentioned on this list? Because it's basically our entire starting lineup minus Turner, Duvall, and Reese McGuire. So let me know in the comment section down below how you would fix the Red Sox leadoff position. As always, if you made it to the end of this video, do me a favor, make sure you guys have hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you're new here, we talk Red Sox content almost every single day. Also, make sure you guys have hit the like button on this video as well. Helps these videos out a ton, and it would mean a lot to me. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one, and I will see you in the red seats.